Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. Happy Victory Monday. The Lions 44-22. The Lions eviscerated the Commanders. God damn it, I said 22 and it took up 20. As the running game goes, period. Ricky Sticott. I said Friday after the presser, I don't call it a huge win. It was a needed win. We needed a win like this to establish what we've been wanting to do all season on offense. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. The defense, while it played good enough to win, it wasn't great. We still gave up a 72.8 completion percentage to Marcus Mariota. That's why all of my guys, other than Brian Branch for top defensive player, were linemen. Honorable mention to Roy Lopez and Alex Anzalone. Alex Anzalone, Roy Lopez, and Jack Campbell all were 3 solo tackles and 2 assisted tackles each. The difference is Roy Lopez had a half a sack with Brian Branch. I'll get into that in just a minute. And he already said he's going to be the play caller going forward. Morton Salt will be left on the table as passing game coordinator the rest of the season and probably fired in the offseason unless he shows Dan Campbell he's going to listen. It's huge, the difference of that team. Buddy Kikiko! Yep, Mariota still had a good game, but it was mostly crossing routes and screens. The deep field stuff, Arthur Mallett was built. Oh, I understand that was garbage time, but don't forget, the last 2 minutes Mariota wasn't in or 3 minutes Mariota wasn't in because they knew they had no shot. But yes, I'm going to get in my top performances real quick. And Gibbs just reached elite company overall in his career. You are becoming Super Bowl contenders. Wins over the Bills, the Pats, and now Tampa Bay. They still got to work on their turnovers. I know it's been better of late, but there was some turnover problems to begin. Yes, Deron Payne, he lost his cool bad. But let's get into this. Dan Campbell calls a masterpiece of a game, 546 total net offensive yards, 320 on the ground, 226 on, or 320 through the air, 226 on the ground. 142 of that was Gibbs himself. Yes, it is. Let me get back to my banners here. Morton is now reduced to passing game coordinator. Our top four offensive productions. Jahmyr Gibbs, first and foremost. 15 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 receiving. Yeah, it was. Let me get through my stuff. I'll address that all in a minute. Let me get through it in the order I need to. Jared Goff, 75.8% completion percentage, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams, 6 catches on 7 targets, 119 yards and a touchdown. The O-line is my fourth one, 0 sacks. Goff could have made a panini sandwich back there before he had to throw the ball on some of the plays. Our top 4 defensive production, Brian Branch, 1.5 sacks. Thomas Harper led the team in solo tackles with 6. Aiden Hutchinson, 8 pressures. Even though he didn't get a sack, the pressure on Mariota made it hard for him on some of his incompletions. And Jack Campbell, who had 3 solo tackles and 2 assisted tackles. My honorable mentions was Roy Lopez when he got there with Brian Branch on one of the sacks, and also Alex Anzalone, who also had 3 solo tackles and 2 assisted. Dwayne, it's good to see you, brother. It was a team effort. Special teams still needs work. If it wasn't for a penalty, the game would have been closer and probably played differently. Remember, it had a race, a big return. Jake Bates. We still had 2 sacks and 14 pressures in that game. I saw the secondary and the linebackers underneath were getting burnt on crossing route. Yeah, I know, Fred. I don't know where somebody said the D line was a problem. Yeah, I saw a great play by the defensive line. I kind of don't agree with that. I mean, we just held them their best runner to 30 yards and a 2.7 carry. Jeremy McNichols had 5 carries for 25 yards. Marcus Mariota had 5 for 22. And I said we should have spied him. He's not as elusive as he used to be, but he can still run. And Chris Rodriguez had 6 carries for 16 yards, also at 2.7. The longest run of any of those was 9 yards. And Chris Rodriguez was the one that had a touchdown. Treylon Burks only had 3 catches for 58 yards. Zach Ertz had 4 for 54. Jalen Lane, which was the one where Arthur Mallet got beat, he had a 41-yard touchdown. Deebo Samuel caught a touchdown. Ben Sinat, the kid out of K-State, had a touchdown. Robbie Chosen even had a catch. Sorry, that 5-3-5 was in the fourth quarter. Yes. Yeah, I know. Trayvon, I don't think we need veteran edge. I disagree. I still disagree with this. El Kadim Muhammad has been great. We are getting there. Yeah, I know. I was worried about that. Okay. If a guy is missing passes because the pressure gets there or he escapes, which he did, which I just brought that up. Marcus Mariota ran away from the pressures for sacks 5 times. That means he decided not to pass and run. I'm not guaranteeing a victory this week. Eagles are a tough team, and we're going to their house. What I did like is we put up 44 points in the cold. It was below 40 degrees yesterday, and everybody says Goff sucks at 44, at under 40 degrees. No, it was 36 there at game time. Jared Goff was 25 of 33, only 8 incompletions, no interceptions, and a 135.9 QBR. Omnipope, they did a good job of adding in extra tight ends and everything else. I'm working on it, Yoli. I know you do. It's good to see you. He already said he is. Yeah, it is going to be a tough game. If you lose, the Lions take over the North as far as the first seed. Bears will be second. Packers will drop the third. If you win, you stay as the top seed in the NFC North. And I think it'll move you all the way to the 1 seed. I think the only other team that might be able, oh no, it would be the Seahawks at 1. You'll be 2. Thank you, Yoli. Hey, Jim Jackson. There she goes. We're second in the league in sacks right now. Yes, I am very happy compared to last year. Compared to last year, we're way better. We already have more sacks than last year. Yeah, they will drop from the second or third seed all the way down to 9th, is what I read if they lose. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, oh, what a day. I'm drinking my coffee. I got a mocha frappe and I got Taco Bell for lunch. Thanks, Mom. We are live into Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Kick, as well as the Huddle app if they ever fix it. The link up here is to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We got 42 people watching and a like from Mr. Ricky Seacott. But Dan Campbell has said he's taking over the play calling. I think it's huge. I think it's a great move. What I saw was better execution and better communication. And I brought that up on Friday's show with BA while Broski was in here, even though he's saying I was the one pounding the table for Morton. That was BA. I said, him contradicting Campbell is a problem, and it will be a problem going forward. You cannot contradict your head coach as a coordinator. We saw that before with Anthony Lynn, and the exact same thing in the exact same week happened. Dan Campbell took over the play calling in 2021 in week 10. What happened? We tied the Pittsburgh Steelers for our first non-loss. This year, We scored 44 points in the cold. And it's Happy Veterans Day. So to anyone who has served out there, my heart and my hat is off to you, gentlemen. And ladies, if you serve. It doesn't matter. Men and women both serve. So we held them to 195 passing yards and 51 plays. The rushing yards, let's see. 93 rushing yards. Yeah, the 11th. It's still going to be Happy Veterans Day. That's what they're celebrating all this weekend. It's the Salute the Veterans tour. That's what this is about. That's why the Salute the Service stuff was out there. That's why Donald Trump was at the game. They had to do more with this as Veterans Day than anything else. I thought it was funny when he said, "I'm coming for your job." Yeah, and he called what they needed to do. He goes, "Washington needs to score right here to stay in this game for a minute." They did, but it didn't matter. I think that was their last score of the game. Nope, they had to score it. What a great weekend! I want to say thank you to you, the viewers. My channel has had 67,518 views on YouTube. Thank you. That's huge, considering I have less than 2,000 videos. I'll be hitting 2,000 by the end of the season. 2,000 videos. So far, I picked 9 winners this week. Out of the 12 games played. Okay, we dropped to 4th. We're 4th in the league in sacks right now. Not sack rate. Total sacks. 30 sacks. Yes, he did. I saw that. That was funny. And you know what we got to see this week that we hadn't seen in a while? Campbell flips in for 6. But Gibbs joined elite company this weekend for career touchdowns so far by the age of 24. Look at who all he's up there with. Barry Sanders at 47. Randy Moss with 43. Emmett Smith with 43. Jim Brown had 42. And Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs has 41 before the age of turning 24. These are the most in NFL history. That's some elite company he joined. You know what I noticed about the other 4 people with that many touchdowns before the age of 24? They're all gold jacket wearers. But yes, in the presser after the game, Dan Campbell said he will be calling the plays on offense from here on out. It was so funny seeing Holly Campbell's post on Instagram talking about her husband wearing glasses and being built the way he is. Wearing glasses and looking like an English teacher while still looking like he could be your physical trainer. That's my husband. Did you guys see that one? Gibbs could set the record this season. His birthday is March 20th. Yeah, exactly. I got to show you this because I thought it was great. That's what she posted about her hubby. Yeah, hey Broski, I brought this subject up Friday when Johnny Morton contradicted Campbell. It was BA that defended him, not me. I said this is a contradiction. You do not contradict your head coach. I don't mind having Dan Campbell call plays the rest of the season. He did it in 2021, and he did it when Ben Johnson was failing midseason with then in 2022. Who's that? Paul Jones. 6-3 feels pretty good after 9 games, don't it, guys? I mean, I think it feels good. I mean, I hated the fact we lost to the Vikings, but look what they did versus the Ravens. It's beating the Ravens isn't for everybody in the North. But I expect that the Lions' offense will look better execution and better communication because that's what I saw in the field. And I said that's exactly what we needed to see after what we saw versus the Vikings. Hey, Broski, you're calling out the wrong guy. You called me out on the last show and I corrected you. Don't put words in my mouth. The only game I loved his play calling was the Baltimore Ravens. But people nitpick and choose what they want. Yep, he got to hold the ball 3 times for the field goals in every pick extra point, which was what we had 5 touchdowns and 3 field goals. Oh, we know. We said that to begin the season. They should have kept Darnold or Daniel Jones. Either one of them. Look at both of them. Daniel Jones is having a resurgent career year, and Sam Darnold still looks like last season. The difference is they're keeping pressure off of him in Seattle. That's why he's not failing as much. If the pressure gets to him, he folds like a cheap suit. They were stopping Monty. They weren't stopping Gibbs. That's the difference. Dan Campbell goes with what works. If Monty would have been breaking off big runs the entire game, he'd have been running more. It, Dan Campbell has said this. You got to go with the hot hand. Deron Payne was already suspended for what he did to Amon Ra. And it's well deserved. Branch got it for hitting a guy after the game. He hit him in the middle of the game. And the announcers talked about it. Man, he tried to throw a haymaker. My thing is, we still ran the ball. No, I didn't see that about Kinlaw. And I didn't see Amon Ra punch Deron Payne. They will if they lose. I'm not going to say they're going to lose. Odds are they will because they got a cold weather team coming in to face a cold weather team in a cold climate. Everybody, the only thing that'll change is how the ball feels when receivers catch it. Which team has more drops? Because that's what'll go up. Oh man, what a weekend though! Vikings lost. Bears had to come back to beat the Giants. And Jackson Dart going out wasn't the only reason why they won, but it was a part of it because they weren't stopping him. The pressure hardly ever got to Jared Goff. They had 0 sacks. We had 2. And the pressure was enough to force them to run 5 times and have 6 incompletions. Running 5 times, 6 incompletions. That's what 11 pressures and 2 sacks on top of that. That's 13 altogether. And they were talking about how Aiden Hutchinson was getting to Mariota all the time. He just wasn't getting the sack. I think they said that 8 times in the game. Today is a somber day in history, too. 50 years ago, when I was 5, the Edmund Fitzgerald thing. A concussion, and you're missing the point. If he didn't get the concussion, is what I'm saying. It might have been a different outcome. Yep, and Aaron Glenn got his second career win versus those hopeless Browns, who now have the number one seed because even the Saints beat the Panthers. It's more proof of what I said about the Panthers all season. They're a young team that play to the level of the team across from them. If they're playing a bad team, they play bad. If they're playing a good team, they play good. They already have the same amount of wins as they had last season at this point. And they didn't get that win until week 18 last year. So they are a better team than they were. They're just not quite there yet. They're still learning. I hope they give Canales another year there, as they should Bryce Young. People can say Bryce Young isn't the answer, but he's not always the problem either. It was, and it was due to the play calling and execution. Say what you want, any given Sunday. We've seen bad teams beat good teams all this year. The execution was good. This was a game that the Lions could have slept on. We couldn't sleep on it with what was coming up. This was a get right game to get right to go up against the Eagles next week, who will be on a short week. I'm not saying that's going to make that much of a difference, but they play Monday night. You better hope you win. I'm sorry, you can say it to soften them up, but you know what? They're a tough team. I expect a good game tonight. I will watch it. It's football. That's what I do. I love football. Oh, I'm not shitting on Bryce Young. He's had good games and he's had bad games. Yes, we do. We got the other game against you, the other game against the Vikings. In his bad games, he's bad. In the good games, he's been good. He's like Jekyll and Hyde out there. If the Bears could fix their defense, they wouldn't have to come back in games. I don't like the way their defense is playing. Whether it's zone coverage, man coverage, I don't care. The defense has given up a buttload of points and yards. JJ McCarthy looked awful this week versus the Ravens. Packers play the level of their opponents. They just can't put the foot on the gas pedal. The only game you really did was the Dallas game when you guys scored 40, but you had to. Otherwise, you couldn't tie. Um, it's weird. It's weird for the Packers. I don't know what's going on with them. One game they look like world beaters, the next game they don't. It's weird. Their losses and ties have been to credulously bad teams. I don't get it. I guess I won't. I don't know what to put my finger on with the Packers. You guys have a very good defensive front. Your secondary is a little sus. You on paper you should have good wide receivers, but you have a lot of drop. Love is looking better, but it's not consistent all the time. Last week was a horrible game. It's just weird. Just weird. Yeah, offensively, the Bears are third in the NFL right now in yardage, and the Lions are in sixth. The Packers haven't played yet, but on their average, they are sitting right about 10th. And then somewhere around 30 or 23 is the Minnesota Vikings in total offense. It is a weird season. I know the Vikings are inconsistent, and it's mostly because of their offense. And you go to total defense, in yards allowed. The Packers defense is sitting at fifth. The Lions are at seventh. The Bears are at 27th. It's weird. It's a weird year, guys. Weird. Bengals are last. Cowboys are 31st. Commanders are now 30th. Giants are 29th. Steelers are 28th. Bears are 27th. Ravens are 26th. Titans are 25th. Dolphins are 24th. Jaguars are 23rd in total defense. Cardinals are 22nd. 49ers are 21st. Eagles are 20th in the league right now in yards given up. 215 passing yards and 120 rushing yards on the ground. Can the Pack? Yeah, on paper you have the team to beat them. You, and I've heard from other Packers podcasters that aren't homers say they think LaFleur is the problem, and I don't get it. But he is the offensive play caller because the inconsistency has been more on offense than defense. Kind of like last week when we lost to the Vikings. The inconsistencies were on offense, and the defense wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't good. Yeah, play calling is bad. So I'm hoping the consistency, execution, and communication continue on to next week because we're going to need it versus the Eagles. Right, I heard that about that. All the screen passes, same thing we had versus the Vikings. Reed is supposed to be back anytime. Not till November, end of November. This is the week we may see Pascal, we may see Wingo, we may see um, Rodriguez, and we're going to need all of them. We need that depth. I can't wait to hear what the practice report says on Tuesday afternoon. But again, if you don't think Jahmyr Gibbs is any good, I heard people call him out. That's some elite company he just joined in his third season. 47 touchdowns for Barry Sanders, 43 for Randy Moss, 43 for Emmitt Smith, 42 for Jim Brown. We could. We very well could. You know what would be weird? Is if it comes to two NFC North opponents in the NFC Championship. And that very well could happen. Rest in peace to Paul Tagliabue, who passed away yesterday. Our former commissioner before Goodell. Back when football was football, before it became the no fun league, with all these crazy rules that they have for making defenders have to play soft. Before the Pro Bowl became two-hand touch and then flag football. I don't even watch the actual game anymore. I just look at the score at the end and then look at the scoring plays. Yep, I get it. Stacked with body weight. They're trying to protect the fragile JJ. That's what I see. So that's it in a nutshell. My honorable mentions on defense, like I said, was Roy Lopez with 3 tackles, 2 assisted, and a half a sack with Brian Branch, who had 1.5 sacks. Thomas Harper led all tacklers with 6. I think one of our worst players was Arthur Mallett yesterday. He's the one that gave up that big pass down the sideline. The one that they reviewed and it was a catch. I didn't think it was because I saw the ball squirming, but when I saw it from the other angle, he did secure it and get 2 feet down before he went out of bounds. So I get it. Amen, Steve Bauer. And just like at the end of every week we win, I'm going to do what I always do. Forward down the field, the charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rock, rock, rock. Go hard, win this game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions. This has been Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Have a great day, everybody, and a good week. Let's watch some more football tonight. We got the Packers with the Eagles coming into Lambeau Field. And it will be the frozen tundra. It is cold out there right now, boys. Have a great day.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.